It is bad enough that we should find ourselves ruled by corrupt, incompetent, and murderous thugs, whose only priority is to secure absolute power and retain it at all cost. Of course, they know that in securing absolute power for themselves they have ridden roughshod over the ordinary people's freedoms and rights, hopes and dreams. They can see the consequences of Zimbabwe as a failed nation, in the country's failure to provide basic services such as clean running water, education, and healthcare. Millions of ordinary Zimbabweans, 49% of the population and rising, are living in abject poverty. President Mnangagwa and his ZANU-PF ruling elite and their cronies can see the tragic human suffering brought about by their failed leadership, and they don't care. What makes our situation a double tragedy is that the men and women the people have entrusted the important task of ending the ZANU-PF, the MDC, CCC opposition, have not only turned out to be corrupt and incompetent but, to crown it all, incapable of learning from their own mistakes. MDC, CCC will never ever deliver the democratic changes the nation has been dying for. Because even one would say, surely they must have finally learned the lesson, they have again and again shown that they have not learned. The primary purpose of the 2008 to 2013 Government of National Unity GNU was to implement the raft of democratic reforms and dismantle the ZANU-PF dictatorship, including the regime's carte blanche powers to rig elections. Of course, the task of implementing the reforms was left to Morgan Tsvangirai and his MDC friends. Naturally, one did not expect ZANU-PF to reform themselves out of office. It is one of the darkest episodes in Zimbabwe's history that not even one token reform was implemented in the 5 years of the 2008 to 2013 GNU. It has been 10 years now since the end of that GNU, with the country well and truly stuck. Because we cannot remove ZANU-PF from offices, because the party still enjoys its draconian powers to rig elections, the need for a new GNU so we can implement the reforms would be obvious to all, especially to the errant MDC, CCC leaders. We learnt our lesson. There won't be any GNU before or after elections. Let us win resoundingly in local authorities, where we will restore executive mayors. Let's have parliamentary majority in the coming elections, replied Nelson Chamisa when the subject of a new GNU was raised. As a new political party, we performed exceptionally well in recent by-elections, clinching 89 out of 130 wards, which were being contested, while for MPs we managed to win 19 out of 28 up for grabs. That was an indicator we can win all the way up to president. Here we go again. How can we make any meaningful progress if we cannot even agree on historic facts, reality, and truth? The watershed 2008 elections established that ZANU-PF had captured and corrupted the country's state institutions such as ZEC, police, judiciary, etc. They were ZANU-PF departments in all but name, as they were now reprogrammed to keep ZANU-PF in power at all costs. The 2008 to 2013 GNU offered the nation the golden opportunity to sever the umbilical cords, giving ZANU-PF ownership and control of ZEC, etc.